Hey everybody, it's Valerie from Very Random Valerie, and today's Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. In today's video, I thought I would share a story with you that is very familiar to my family, many of our friends, and they find it interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. It has to do with the home that I live in and raised my girls in with my husband and my mother, who lived with us. We live in a very old Victorian home built in 1872 or 3. And about, I think it was about 13 or 14 years ago, there was one spot in the house that when I was in it, when I stood in it, I got this very, very peculiar feeling within my body. And the best way I can describe it is it felt like I was just about to go down a gigantic hill on a roller coaster. My knees felt weak and shaky. My stomach felt like it was up here. And I just felt awful. It was not a good, it was a very uncomfortable feeling in the body. And I had told this at least a half dozen times to my mother and to my husband. And about 6 months after I had started feeling it, I get this random phone call from a woman who says that her mother used to live in the house in the 1950s. Her mother was turning 80 in 2 weeks, and she was taking her to lunch and wondered if it would be possible to bring her by and let her see the old house because she used to reminisce about it and she knew it would make her happy. We were agreeable. So in 2 weeks on a Saturday afternoon, she brought her by. And they had brought us a lovely little bunch of flowers. And we made our introductions. And when we were in the entry, before we had started, touring the home, the mother said, "Mr. Peak, who was the man who built the home, did you know that Mr. Peak shot himself in this house?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I did not." And I said, "Do you know where?" And she said, "Yes, she did." So I said, "Don't tell me. Let me see if I can tell you." And I got the raised eyebrows. Well, we went through the whole house and we ended up in the den. And when the talking ceased for a moment, I said, "Ma'am," I said, "you remember what you told me in the entry about Mr. Peak?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "By any chance, was it through here?" And pointing to the hallway that used to be the porch. And she said, "Yes." As she had been told, the den, is now our den, used to be Mr. Peak's daughter's bedroom. And he was on his way outside and he was carrying his rifle. And he said to his daughter, "I'll see you later." And he stepped outside and then he shot himself. Well, that's what I know to be, that's the story that I was given. And beyond that, I don't know. The rest of this might be conjecture. Did I say that right? Conjecture. Anyway, we also have a small building or small house in the side yard. And we were told that that was the first bank in our community. And I tend to believe it because there's iron bars in the windows. They're decorative. They look pretty, but they're definitely meant to keep people out. And he used to run, it was his bank, or he managed it or whatever. And it was during the stock market crash. And he was distraught about the community, his friends, his neighbors losing their money. I think he himself was in jeopardy of losing this house, and he just couldn't deal with it. Now, that part, I just don't know if all that's true or not. Sounds reasonable. But I did, after the ladies left, and once we found out what the cause was for me feeling that energy, it went away. And many, many years ago, before that, many years before I was married, everything, before we had children, before we moved here, I had been told by some random stranger, and I even thought at the time it was so odd that she just came up to me and told me I was a grid worker. Well, I was like, I don't know what a grid worker is. And I don't think I thought about it again until after this happened. And I remembered it. And so I looked it up. And a grid worker supposedly is somebody who can take negative energy and transmute it into positive energy, which seems to be what happened. At least my body told me that there was negative energy there. And when I stood there after I found out, after the fact, it was no longer there. So that's the story. And everyone who lived in this house over the last several decades has their own story. So I have quite a few of them, and I may share some more with you as time allows if you like it. And if you do like it, please give the video a thumbs up, share it with somebody, and I really appreciate it. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.